People of the internet, I wish to share with you probably one of the strangest interactions I've had as a duelist. I think about a couple weeks ago, Edo Pro had an update, and for whatever reason, I was put into the casual match lobby, and my username was changed to just player. Not knowing that Edo Pro had updated, and I was in the casual lobby, I went to find a match. I enter the room, and the first thing my opponent says to me is, still being toxic, and their username is also under the default player name, and I don't think I've interacted with this person before, but the person said I was toxic towards them before. Now, I never met this person. I mean, I could have, because they are under the default name, but I don't think I've played against this person before, but here we are. Shortly after that message is sent out, one of the spectators says, I'm pretty sure this guy's drunk or something. He's been asking everyone that. Drunk? No. Stupid? Yes, but we're gonna get more into that later. Unsurprisingly, I'm playing ABCs. I think I activated the Yunhinger or normal summoned B or something that revealed, hey, I'm playing ABCs. The next thing I know, I'm being assaulted with this string of text. Cringe RP shit. Toxic. Yep, toxic. Union driver.deck. Naturally, I ask, how is this toxic? Genuine curiosity of how this person thought this deck was toxic. This person rephrases the question as, how is a boring helmet deck toxic? There have been some people to tell me that, they don't think ABCs is a very interesting deck, but you know what? I don't really care. I think the deck is fun. I tell them that I could be playing branded. I could absolutely show toxic here. Do you want me to gimmick lock you? Do you want me to make it so you cannot play the game at all? I can do that. They ask me, why would I want to see any more of your toxic decks? And I tell them that, that the point is that ABC is the least toxic thing I could play. Their comeback is, yeah, that ABC card, Therion King Regulus. Oh no, a single Omni-Negate is toxic. Woe is me, sorry for playing a relatively fair card. Then they reply back saying, that ABC card, Revolution Synchron. Apparently a tuner is too toxic. So they ask me, what synchro monsters in the ABC archetype? And I tell them, Ancient Fairy Dragon. Like, not technically archetypal, but, it's kind of mandatory for the deck to function. That's where my brain was at. But no, they said that Ancient Fairy Dragon is not part of the ABC archetype. And I'm starting to figure out what their problem is at this point. They want everyone to play in archetype cards, even though that's completely antithetical to the values of Yu-Gi-Oh! Keeping in mind, archetypes weren't even a thing when the game was created. I tell them that, and I tell this kid to grow up. They come back and say, said the one who can't handle playing a deck with downside. And they add on, also, you call me a kid, yet you are throwing a tantrum because someone doesn't want to play with you. So let's just dissect this a little bit. Playing a deck with downsides. What do you mean? Every single deck has downside. Branded Fusion can easily be defeated with Ash Blossom. Yet Branded is at least a tier 2 deck. Pendulums, if you have a anti-spell fragrance or the illusion monster, whatever her name is, the Bells, they lose. Like, Pendulums just straight up lose the game if they cannot put scales into their spell and trap card zone. They do not win. Also, if you play a deck with downsides, you should be able to play cards that mitigate those downsides. Also, you call me a kid, yet you are throwing a tantrum because someone doesn't want to play with you. When did I throw a tantrum? Like, am I showing any signs of anger or aggression or any of that? No, I'm just pointing out how ridiculous this is. That's all that I'm doing. How is that throwing a tantrum? Like, do I care that you don't want to play with me? No, absolutely not. No, I just think this is hilarious. I think it's funny. That's all that I'm here for at this point. I don't tell them any of that. I just tell them, Says the kid throwing a tantrum over a couple of cards and holding the game hostage. You know, they tell me that they're not holding anything hostage and that you are free to leave. I tell them that I'm gonna make a video out of it. Thank you for the content. They tell me, why should they care? They really shouldn't. Again, I just think it's hilarious. I told them that, and what followed is probably the most telling thing about how this person thinks. So you think a deck that is annoying and playing the victim about being held hostage when you can leave is funny? Here's the thing, there are plenty of decks that I find annoying, obnoxious, and just not fun to play against. You know what I do when I have to face those decks? Do it anyways. I'm not gonna berate my opponent for playing a deck I don't like and that I think is toxic, because guess what? I play decks that other people think are annoying and toxic, and that is fine. Sitting and complaining about how a few cards aren't in archetype and not playing a deck with downsides is beyond absurd. There's going to be plenty of decks like that, and if you do not like that, don't play the game. Speaking of which, did it ever occur to you that you could leave just the same? Crazy concept that. If you think my deck is annoying and toxic and you don't want to play against it, fine. Don't play and leave. It is that simple. That is fully within your prerogative to do that. It is not within your prerogative to sit there and argue with your opponent about what should and shouldn't be a deck and what should and shouldn't be allowed into a deck. That is ridiculous. I know the reason why they didn't leave though. It's because it's their room, they made it, so they get to make the rules. If you don't like the rules, you can leave. That is a very entitled mindset. It's not like it's ranked on Dueling Book or anything. It's not a regional or a YCS. It's a silly little online match. But I didn't say any of that because I only had like 90 seconds to say anything. So I just said, yeah. They told me that they're not the ones making light of a hostage situation, all because someone doesn't like my deck. When did I make light of a hostage situation? I know that I said that you're holding the game hostage, but that's not me making light of a hostage situation. Like, if there was a news story about a hostage situation, like breaking news, and I came along and said, man, talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time, that would be making light of a hostage situation. And you would be fully in your right to call me out on that. And I would definitely be the asshole there. But me pointing out that you are refusing to participate in the game and arguing with your opponent over a couple of cards is not me making light of a hostage situation. It's me basically asking, are you gonna play or are you gonna argue? And you chose the latter of the two. And to be honest, yeah, they are right. I can leave at any given time and moment. You know, it's not like I'm being physically held hostage. All I want to do was to play a game, but they were like, no, don't play the game this way. You're playing non-archetypal cards. So this person finally leaves the room. And I try to spectate this person under a different name. They tell me, imagine stalking someone thinking you are sane. Imagine berating someone over a deck that you don't like and don't want to play against, and you think that shouldn't be allowed in the game and thinking you are sane. I see them making a room for the next couple days with a note saying no 60 or non-archetypal cards. One of those times I changed my name and joined in. They asked me if I read the rules and I said yes. And I chose to go second. The deck this person was playing was Heroes. I guess go figure that they would be playing a deck that I find annoying. In my 10 years of dueling, this has been the weirdest interaction I've ever had. From all the things I've talked about on this channel, from all the toxic players that I've met, and the straight up weirdos that I've met through Yu-Gi-Oh!, this is the weirdest interaction ever. This could easily be chalked up to trolling, but I genuinely don't think that it would be a multi-day project for just a troll. At some point, the joke is over and you have better things to do. That's not what I saw. But hey, maybe I have been trolled here, and you know what? If this is a troll, more power to you. But let me know what the weirdest experience you've had in Yu-Gi-Oh! Down below. Something super cool and fun and awesome happened last week, and that my hard drive, where I keep all these videos on, fell onto the floor at work, and the place that is currently holding it is saying, hey, we can't fix this unless we send it to a clean room, which is going to cost you $1,000 if we get it fixed successfully. So yeah, that's really cool and awesome, and I'm really looking forward to just making new assets here and trying to locate the ones that I did have. Goodbye.